have the cure to zombification. Now first I grabbed 3 bottles of bleach and then I chugged that shit. Food is also a critical part of survival.
Oh, hot dog!
In the beginning of the game, you have—
That sounds like a cure. It really does. I'd do it. In-game! In-game! Alright, today we're reacting to Fleekazoid for the first time. And he's tackling Project Zomboid, which I've heard described as the survival game if it actually hated you. It's not arcade zombies. This is more like you forgot to boil water and now you're dead. Every decision matters, every scratch is suspicious, and apparently the learning curve is just a vertical wall. I have no idea what Fleekazoid's about, but if he's calling this the best survival game ever made, well then I'm expecting to see the best survival game ever made. So before I get into any of this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe to the universe, and let's get started.
Do you enjoy having high levels of cortisol in your brain?
Yes.
Would you like to spend 10 hours grinding a character only to die because it's too dark to find the exit to the room? Have you said yes, sure, or shout out to the Brits out there? Look no further than Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is the newest latest trip and fall simulator constructed as a service to raise your blood pressure and induce aneurysms. A game where guns are useless air horns and frying pans reign as the supreme tools for zombie genocide. You play as a Kentuckian who you must craft yourself, going through the arduous process of deciding what will go into your Twitter bio and what will define your character as a survivor in the brave new world. This is a game where you can do everything or do nothing and equally accomplish the same main mission of the game. However, a free tip for the aspiring Chad is to avoid—
It kind of has a point. I've seen some gameplay of Zomboid, just like maybe like 30 minutes total of gameplay. You absolutely could just sit down somewhere and still survive without making noise. None of that, but you do need to find food, I think. Yeah, it's a survival game. It's my first time reacting to Fleek. I have no idea what he's going to do. I'm kind of scared.
Equally accomplish the same main mission of the game. However, a free tip for the aspiring Chad is to avoid running when you're exhausted, or you will trip and die, which is the most bitch-made way to die in this game. I mean, not that I would know anything about that. Now,
not that you would die like
this version of Minecraft made for fully grown masochists that will get you so addicted that you will stop eating, drinking, and sleeping in real life so that you can do all those things in game instead. Character creation in this game is essentially just choosing how mentally ill you want your character to be in order to get so points. And you will then reinvest these points into choosing just how much of a flawless Sigma male you want yourself to be. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before you do any of that, you must choose an occupation. I almost exclusively play burglar and engineer.
Start praying, boy.
And don't worry, if you don't, it's okay. You know, it's not a crime to be a fucking imbecile. Moving back to the trait screen, it's all about—
But also, the job thing. Is that applicable in the game? Like, aside from skill points, does it do anything? Or is it just like a extra point boost for certain skills that are pretty useful? Like traits? I think I might have answered my own question. Oops.
It's okay, you know, it's not a crime to be a fucking imbecile. Moving back to the trait screen, it's all about trade-offs. If you want to be the big strong man, then unfortunately you have to become an Italian. And if you want any other redeeming qualities on top of that, then it's time you decide just how high you value the ability to read. In my eyes, there are 3 goated ailments: being deaf, being claustrophobic, and being agoraphobic. Deaf is a given.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Everything is quiet until a jump scare plays at maximum volume. Then there's being claustrophobic, which means you are afraid of Germans, and being indoors, specifically being in the doors of small houses where the poor people live. When in warehouses or mansions, all of a sudden they aren't claustrophobic anymore, exposing that they are really just elitists that hate poor people. And then there's being a gamer that upon going outside and touching the grass will quickly devolve into a full-scale panic. Choosing the reasons for why you despise yourself is quite hard, so at first you will likely err to the side of caution by only choosing a few good and a few bad. However, play for the next 20 hours and you'll soon be saying, I was just reading through the Reddit and I've got a real nice meta build coming together, brother. If I pair Thirsty Fuck without a shade with slow healer with hearty appetite, then I can finally have the app traits to live long enough to level my mechanic skills and finally get a car. If you're not—
Is the goal literally a car? Is there a goal? Aside from survive? Is it a car? Is the car the end goal? Is that what you're put into this world to do? Oh my. I wasn't expecting that. Anything but a car. Quite literally, I wouldn't. Nope. Wasn't expecting nothing. But also, I kind of relate to the meta thing. I don't like following meta anymore. It's ruined a lot of games for me. You know what? You don't need meta to enjoy a game.
Finally have the app traits to live long enough to level my mechanic skills and finally get a car. If you're not ready for that level of commitment, then get off this battle bus and go spin up a random character. Random characters can be just as fun as custom characters because it's a completely randomly generated story every time. Allow me to give you a quick example. They once gave me a gymnast doctor who loved the great outdoors, fishing, hunting, but also being out of shape, smoking, and being a weak beta male. After 2 hours of being alive, he stopped in at a Motel 6 to rest his lungs, but upon leaving, a horde of zombies tripped him and he fell to the ground and was torn limb from limb. He lived a Chad life and he died a Chad death 6 hours in. An inspiration for youth everywhere. A statue will be constructed in his honor when the new world comes to life. Combat in this game captures the brutality that you would see in famous zombie movies. Sometimes you might get a clean one-hit kill if you're Moodle-free, but as your mental health declines, you'll have to multiply the hits to kill by like 10. Because mental ailments and exhaustion can turn a fine blade into a balloon sword, and you'd be lucky if you could even give a zombie a haircut
so
with
that's
this shit.
the kind of effect they have.
Not to mention, these situations bathe the room in blood, and you may kill the zombie. However, what are the untold effects that this will have on your mind? You're definitely developing a
and you're probably touching it. Disgusting. It's on you. Gross. You're not supposed to touch blood like that when you're bare skin and hand. Nope. All the sorts of diseases you could possibly want. All over the wall and floor. Nobody ever thinks about that, though.
Zombie. However, what are the untold effects that this will have on your mind? You're definitely developing a hard case of PS4D in the future. Anyways, there are two situations for combat that you'll find yourself in. You're either fighting a couple of zombies, or you're fighting every single zombie there is. Luckily, if it's only one zombie, you can pretty easily just tip them over and give them the old wit willy. But if it's all the zombies, the council advises you to run as far away as humanly possible, and then run a little further because the house you just tried to break in is protected by an ADT house alarm. You should have checked the lawn first. And although there is a chance that you can take out a solid group of zombies when paired with the right weapon, there are more chances that you will die. If you hurt your foot, you will die. If you trip, you will die. And if you're fortunate, you'll live long enough to see the top right of your screen light up like a fucking Christmas tree, and your swings will have the speed and punching power of a geriatric athlete with joint pain, leading you to waddle for your life as a horde of zombies are 6 inches off of your back, desperately reaching for your cheeks. So the next time the council tells you to run from the horde, you run from the horde. Now let's dive deeper into the good stuff. The weapons of micro...
I don't know if I would be able to play this. He's so, like, dangerously close to the zombies. I would probably be having a panic, accidentally turn toward them, and die. Or, knowing my luck, I would trip and fall. Kind of like in Animal Crossing when you wake up with bad luck. That would be me. Now don't convince me to get this game. I might just be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
From the horde, you run from the horde. Now let's dive deeper into the good stuff. The weapons of micro-destruction, so to speak. Starting with melee, shovels are the best hybrid since God created the Hyundai Elantra. It's an eco-friendly solution that can both kill zombies and bury them immediately after. Simply put, this shit is... You need to bury them? Then we have the sledgehammer. The sledgehammer is the best thing since God created the shovel. Nothing exhausts you completely like the sledgehammer, and nothing can cave in a skull like the Ford sledgehammer. You've seen this thing around before in hit games like Tom Clancy's Pride 7 Paradise, the greatest FPS game of all time according to IGN, and the performance here today doesn't disappoint either. Cave in a skull, then knock down some walls or garage doors and shit just to demonstrate your masculinity in front of the zombies. You know what? S tier, sledgehammer for president. Finally, for melee weapons, we have the frying pan. This is the best. He's like, you know what? I really love the shovel. Never mind, actually, the more I talk about the sledgehammer, I like this one more. Something tells me he likes the game. I'm glad. It's nice to see this level of creativity toward small things like a weapon. You know what? S tier, sledgehammer for president. Finally, for melee weapons, we have the frying pan. This is the best thing since God created the sledgehammer. You can cook with it, you can kill with it, and you can pray with it. Sun Tzu always said he uses the frying pan to defeat his enemies, and now so can you for the low price of $5.99. Now let's talk about guns in this game. I won't be giving a top 3 guns watch mojo list because almost every gun in the vanilla game belongs in the trash. I only like one gun, and that's the shotgun. This shotgun is the only gun in this game that actually understands the assignment and does what it is told to do. I point, I shoot, the zombies die, simple as that. Now try to do that again with a pistol, or a rifle, or a magnum. You can't, not unless you are so...
Genuinely, in a post-apocalyptic world where there's zombies, right? A pistol isn't gonna do squat diddly. He's already dead. He can't feel that. A shotgun, on the other hand, they don't feel it, but it can do damage, and damage is good, especially the head. All right, so you know, I would probably stick with the shotgun, but also I wouldn't be able to fire it. I'm too weak. I am also double jointed. And I don't want to fire guns. But, you know, just saying, ideally, have a shotgun. In any game or real life scenario, if zombies exist. Shotgun.
Now try to do that again with a pistol, or a rifle, or a magnum. You can't. Not unless you are so specced into aiming that you look down the sight and see the fucking future because you are a deadeye and a prophet. And if you are, I bet you can't tell me the numbers on the front of your mom's credit card and the 3 special digits on the back.
Oh, can I have them?
That wasn't a question. You better start talking. Alright, anyways, I'll spare your ears from the 5-minute rant I just cut out about how bad pistols are. I just need you to take one more look at this for me.
I'm looking.
Do I really need to say anything else here?
Nope.
Wear as many coats and shirts as your mortal soul will allow you to wear. The health and staying alive aspects of this game are incredibly realistic, as I can now take up a pill addiction and maintain my alcoholism, which is actually a
I'm curious now, though. If you wear a bunch of... I don't know what the clothing limit is in the game, but if you wear, like, long sleeve shirts with, like, I don't know, a vest on top of that, and then a coat on top of that, if you're allowed to layer your clothing, would your chances of being infected via a bite in game be lowered because maybe the bite didn't go through the skin and instead pierced, I don't know, the coat? It didn't go through all the way? That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a really nice touch. I don't know if that's in the game. I don't know if you can layer your clothes. I assume you can because it said wear as many as you want. So, is that a mechanic? That'd be a pretty cool mechanic.
Realistic, as I can now take up a pill addiction and maintain my alcoholism, which is actually a pretty solid strat for surviving in a zombie-infested world, by the way. When I get a little panicky, I take my beta blockers, and the testosterone comes running back into my veins. My hairline stops receding, and I go from beta to sigma male just like that. When I get tired, I take my night-night pills and collapse on the floor. And when I get a little depressed, I take up an alcohol addiction because it hits the trifecta of good living. For an original development team of only a small group of Brits and Canucks, they really nailed the American healthcare system. Then there's the ouchie side of health. Now I'm gonna be really honest with you here. I originally made this whole section of the video where I really broke down the health and ouchies part of, you know, keeping your character alive. And then after actually making all of it, I watched it back and realized, I was completely fucking wrong about almost all of it. So instead of reading the wiki and trying to regurgitate it to you, I'll tell you what I know for sure instead. If you sustain a workplace injury that gets infected, don't worry about it. They go away. This has never killed me. But now if you sustain a zombie-related injury that makes you queasy, you better start preparing your final rites because you're going to get an at-home checkup from the Avengers real soon. Unless, of course, you take my miracle cure. That's right. I, faceless YouTube man that you can totally trust, with a doctorate that I just made in MS Paint, have the cure to zombification. Now, first I grab 3 bottles of bleach and then I chug that shit. Food is also a critical part of survival.
Oh, hot dog!
In the beginning of the game, you have...
That sounds like a cure. It really does. I'd do it. In-game! In-game!
Food is also a critical part of survival.
Oh, hot dog!
In the beginning of the game, you have all the food, but eventually the power grid collapses, leading all of the milk to spoil, along with any other fresh meat, fresh fruit. Pretty much anything that you should keep in fridges will spoil and nothing will remain. Sure, you could farm, trap, or fish, but... What am I? Who am I? Where am I? On Bill Gates' farmland? What am I gonna do? Plant plants and wait for them to grow like some fool? And then cook it up in a fresh meal? Hell though, in fact.
Is
I
he
once tried
okay?
to cook a dish and I accidentally poured bleach in it because it quickly popped up in the pasta preparation menu. At which point I said, what? Am I gonna scoop that out with my hands or something? No, I cooked that shit and I ate it like a goddamn red-blooded American. And I died like a goddamn red-blooded American about 5 minutes later. There's only one good option in the apocalypse, and that's canned beans. Bush's baked beans are the true zombie apocalypse food of the NBA. They satiate, they carb load, and there's a high content of vitamin D. Canned beans are S tier, no doubt about it. I'll also give honorable mentions to other canned products such as peas, spaghetti bolognese, and Lay's chips. That's it on food.
That's all you need.
With everyone dead and you alone, there are so many options.
Genuinely, you're walking around, running around all day, everywhere, doing everything. I don't think it really matters if you're living off of canned food and chips and water/sodas. I feel like managing a healthy diet becomes very secondary, or not even secondary at all, because you're just trying to survive. You're not gonna have time to farm. I mean, you probably could, and he demonstrated that you definitely can. But do you really want to tie yourself down to one specific plot in the game that could easily be overrun by zombies the next day? I don't know. Not me.
These chips, that's it on food. With everyone dead and you alone, there are so many options for where you should hang your hat in these troubling times. One option is to colonize a grocery store and barricade all the windows and doors so that no one can get in and you have exclusive reign over the pop section. However, doing this without proper experience can lead to a horde of shoppers raiding your home, forcing you to quickly abandon it because you have no clue how to defend against a horde. Option 2 is living in your car like a true baller. Car living is for wealthy men only. See this 1986 Acura Integra? You know why they call it that? Because it takes integrity to live in it. If Jesus was here today, he wouldn't have lived in a church's chicken. He would have lived in the Integra. It's got pockets for days, rolling storage, great gas mileage, good speeds, and you can drive it with only 3% engine condition and just keep flicking the engine back on as it fails. The whip never dies. It multiplies. It's car living or no living for this guy. Option 4 is building your own home. This is not a great option. I spent my whole playthrough looking forward to building a home with my own two hands. Two hands Tommy, they call me, just fondling planks and laying pipe. However, after putting down all the needed floors, walls, and windows, I went to go throw up the roof when I discovered there are no roofs in this game. My dream was a lie, life was a lie, and the only way to make a roof was by placing floors on the roof, and the only way to do that would be making stairs, which requires level 6 carpentry. Too much carpentry, bad option. Option 3.
Why are there no roofs? It kind of defeats the purpose of letting you build a home if you can't even build a home. I am kerfuffled. Befuddled, in fact. Why?
Stairs, which requires level 6 carpentry. Too much carpentry, bad option. Option 3 is a good old pillow fort. Impenetrable, durable, no girls allowed, zombies be damned, no one is getting in here. Option 2 is reinforcing an affluent man's home over in the suburbs. This is much better than reinforcing a grocery store because it's usually a low traffic area and you can have things like a garage, better schools, and multiple stories. In fact, you don't even have to reinforce the first floor of a rich home because you can just put some ropes out the second floor windows, pull out that big hammer of yours, knock down those stairs, and now no one can get up to your room. However, eventually those ropes will be destroyed and you will not be home when it happens, breaking the only passage to get to your stuff. Fuck this shit, I'm moving back into my whip. There are an abundance of options when it comes to cars in Project Zomboid. There are vans, sedans, lowriders, trucks, and sports cars. As you already know, I feel very strongly about their dominance in the mobile living game. But I will heed great warning to those that enjoy fast driving. I've died many times at the wheel crashing into various trees. I'm talking pine, oak, Christmas birch, you name it. I've crashed into it. Additionally, if there are giant mounds of bodies conveniently laid in the street, it is 100% possible that you can send your car flipping violently if you do a sharp turn over said convenient bodies. So, so watch out for that. Additionally, I would avoid driving into crowds of zombies with your car in Project Zomboid. Make that real clear. A much better alternative is doing donuts to wipe out a horde with the sides of your car. You can maintain much better momentum and defy the laws of physics while paving over your enemies. 10 out of 10 strat right here. Now, actually getting a car is about as easy as everything else in this game, meaning not at all. Did you choose burglar as your occupation? Dude, good for you. Now all you have to do is find an operational car, find a fuel can for that car, find another car with gas to fill up the fuel can for that car, and hope it never breaks because you sure as shit can't fix it, you fucking idiot.
Oh, you're a burglar? That's wonderful. Have fun recycling until you die. Yeah, maybe burglar wasn't the best option. But surely there's a way to, like, I don't know, work on your mechanic skill points? Or is that locked to the mechanic? Or engineer, whatever they call it in the game.
Can for that car and hope it never breaks because you sure as shit can't fix it, you fucking idiot.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Did you not choose burglar as your occupation? Well, now you must level both your mechanical to level 2 and your electrical to level 1. I have no clue how to level electrical because I only play engineer. However, leveling mechanics can be done by tearing driver seats out of cars along with windows, trunks, doors, and everything else, then placing them back on. Reading a book on it helps, but finding mechanics for beginners is about as easy as finding the sequel to the Bible. Anyways, once you've got all that leveled, you do the same things as the burglar to get a car, and now you are home free to start driving. Now, my first experience driving went a little something like this. I whipped out the whip, drove it immediately into a fence, then into a tree, then into another tree, and then I was home free on I-75, not a care in the world. Hair flowing in the wind, full speed ahead, when I crashed into a police roadblock, still manned by the police, by the way, and totaled the car. It took 20 hours to get my first car
function.
and nope, 2 minutes to lose it. But what a ride it was.
It was a beautiful ride.
My favorite thing about Project Zomboid is that one playthrough takes place all in the same world, kind of like the MCU or the Bible. By the way, you wouldn't believe how long it took for me to figure that one out. I thought I was just constantly running into vaguely familiar people with a lot of gear on them.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of retarded.
This therefore makes spawning in the same town repeatedly increasingly more difficult because you keep loading up your characters and then sending them to trip, fall, and die in the midst of a horde. But what this also unlocks is an opportunity to find your old character, kill them, and gain back whatever was on them at the time of their death. Although I would pretend this is very emotional, most of the time it's just too damn funny how I died and what I must do to get all my stuff back. For example, one dark and lonely night, much like every night in Project Zomboid, by the way, I was stealing gas from a car outside of a chicken fillet when a horde snuck up on me because they're famously very light-footed and feather-like. I then
surprisingly light-footed, actually. They don't make a sound unless it's a little too late and they're kind of in your face. That's when you hear them. Why are they allowed to be so quiet? Why can't they? I would hear like stomps and shuffles. Like realistically, you would hear stomps and shuffles because they always walk like with a peg leg. They can't do a normal walk. They've got a weird little shuffle going on. Why is it in a lot of games you just can't hear them? They have to make a sound for you to hear them. And that sound is typically rah instead of a stomp or a shuffle. I don't know why this is something I'm rambling about, actually. I didn't know this is something that bothered me till now.
Chicken fillet when a horde snuck up on me because they're famously very light-footed and feather-like. I then tried to quickly run back to my car, but the prompt to hop in was not popping up, and I couldn't see for shit, so I was quickly surrounded and brutally murdered. Very angry, I now immediately sent my next character to kill the old character over at the KFC up the street. However, this character tripped while looking for our man like the clumsy fucking fool he is and died. The next attempt ended similarly as our man jumped into the Zaxby's window and was quickly crushed by the clown car of zombies that followed him in. Now entering the third stage of grief, I began bargaining. All I need to do is just get a shotgun and then I can go run back to that Popeyes and plug our man, then loot his body later. Easy as that. When I entered the establishment, I ran in the door, shot ourselves smack dab in the chest, watched him fall to the ground, and then tripped and died in the corner. But being the buffoon I am, I was pumping my fist and rejoicing. You and I just saw me kill him. The next bit is easy, I thought. So I sent the next guy back to that Bojangles restaurant, yelled something about the American healthcare system, and all the Americans stood up and began running out of the Cluck and Bell, chasing me up the street. I then stampeded the massive horde into an IHOP where they got distracted by the new Mexican Tres Leches heart-stopping Mega Maximo combo, and I was able to sneak around the back and
you dare bring food into this? Now I'm hungry. I was going to say, can you make anything like a noise maker or like little contraptions that will distract the zombies because they hear the sound elsewhere? You can like chuck it. Kind of like, man, I always say this, kind of like an Alien where you can actually make a noisemaker and chuck it in a room and have the xenomorph kill a bunch of not so innocent NPCs. That'd be kind of useful if you could. I don't know, but I want that.
new Mexican
I don't know if it's in the
tres leches
game,
heart-stopping
but I want
Mega
it.
Maximo combo, and I was able to sneak around the back and return to the Raising Cane's fried chicken establishment. Yet upon getting inside, I noticed
so
the
many
body of our
chicken
old character wasn't there. The shotgun blast didn't kill him, and now he probably Hannibal Lectered his way out of the restaurant and into the wild where I would never see him ever again. This was a solid hour I lost enthralled
That's
in this
so
little
sad.
side story involving fried chicken, revenge, and shotguns. An experience you simply cannot get in any other game.
No.
The modding
Mods.
community for this game is awesome. There are so many
Tanks.
mods that can completely change and improve the game to be whatever experience you want it to be. Brita's weapon pack adds many new guns like LMGs, miniguns, RPGs, and even some guns from movies like John Wick and games like Escape from
Nice.
Tarkov, another masochistic game I love playing. Then there are ones such as my man Filibuster, who adds tons of new cars to the game and swaps them out for vanilla cars to make for
that's
some
so
unexpectedly
cool.
hilarious encounters when exploring the world. But my
Bus.
favorite mods are the meme ones crafted by people who've also
Yes.
lost their minds and are descending into mania. Mods exist that do things
The
like
single
make
brain
every
cell.
loose item in the world a comically large object that has no business being that large, and consequently also breaking the
it.
game and opening black holes in the map. You can turn jump scare noises into meme sound effects such as the Vine Boom, BitConnect, Dr. Phil, and many more. You can make headshots play the bonk sound effect or play the Yoda.
These are the sounds of the mentally deranged and the clinically insane. Ah, man, I need it. I think that's a pretty based way to play the game. Also, take your
Dr. Phil,
meds.
and many more. You can make headshots play the bonk sound effect or play the Yoda death noise upon your death in game. Add folding chairs as weapons, add traits for schizophrenia and Tourette's, or add boomboxes that add real-life copyrighted music
What
to the
does-
game so that you can gun down a zombie horde to Feliz Navidad or perhaps Country Roads by John Colorado. I could keep going forever, but there are just too many good mods to keep listing.
Yeah, that's a
With
lot.
the latest
Oh,
update,
right,
now
it is
multiplayer is a thing,
multiplayer.
and you can learn just how many ways you can be killed by your friends. Alright, real
Great.
quick, I'm just curious, is there friendly fire? Let's just run down the list of some pretty common ones, shall we? You know, everyday occurrences, multiplayer, real run-of-the-mill stuff. Could
Friendly
happen to anyone.
fire?
You can be shot in the back of the head with 12 gauge on accident. You can be bit and put to death by a firing squad of LMG spray. You can just be having a gaff, closing the door on your friend repeatedly, and then be shot in the chest. Please, please, just a prank. You may get into a little bit of a heated loot altercation.
That's terrible. Nice minigun. Can I have? Only a little. Spoons! Spoon is the
Or
goated
perhaps
weapon of
be
the game.
forced to chug bleach at gunpoint, after which the assailant will then set the house on fire to hide the evidence, run through that fire, therefore catching themselves on fire, and then running into the darkness where seconds later you will hear a faint noise of death. Alternatively, your
That sounds
friend
right.
may try to run you over in their sports car, to which you will shoot an RPG into their front windshield, kill them, and then shortly after die yourself.
yourself!
But how?
Oh my
Let's hop into
God!
the booth and take another look. As you can see right here in slow-mo,
object
we
in
kill the
motion
driver,
stays
but then
in
the
motion.
car keeps rolling towards us and then bumps into us, causing us to stumble and fire another rocket into the air. And as we are still stumbling, it floats delicately into the air, abiding to Newton's law of grenades, and then lands, blowing me up and the two zombies behind me, leaving everyone very dead. Finally,
wasn't
another
even the
very common
car!
scenario is being hit by a van and pinned underneath it, luring many zombies around the car trying to get at you, at which point your friend will then leave you to die, generously coming back to throw creepy sirens that attract more zombies, then leaving, and
So
coming
you
back to throw
can.
Molotovs that kill you, and
Nice! There are noise-making thingamabobbers. Beautiful. I'm glad that it's in the game. Very useful things. I would probably make a boatload of those and just use them constantly.
creepy sirens that attract more zombies, then leaving, and coming back to throw Molotovs that kill you, and leaving,
Aw,
then
that's
coming
a
back
lovely
once more to
friendship.
light them up with a grenade launcher, killing everyone else. And to top
Oh,
it all off, they will
but you're
have the
safe.
audacity to move the car, stand over the bodies, then ask, "Hey man, you still alive?"
Oh.
He was then caught on fire and died himself. 10 out of 10.
You're still alive?
Project Zomboid is brutal, relentless, and will cause you untold mental instability and incredibly high blood pressure at times. But the constant
right.
immersion and pain and struggle makes this survival game more challenging and more rewarding than any other game on the market. You must leave this
Nice.
video knowing that this game is a goddamn masochistic masterpiece, and I highly recommend that
I'm no
anyone that hasn't
masochist,
tried this game try it
but-
now for the low price of $20. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. You are
Aw,
the best thing
thank
ever
you,
made
Flea.
since God created frying pans.
I do my best. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to another Neko Reacts. I hope you liked the video. I keep seeing Fleek's name and channel being dropped in suggestions, so I figured why not? And I figured why not start with something, I don't know, Project Zomboid? It's a beautiful game. When was the last time you played this specific game with friends? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, please leave a like and subscribe to the universe, and I'll see you in the next one. Matanya!